Tony Cairoli lined himself up the inside and pulled a massive hole shot as he reached turn 1, but he was nervous about losing the front end, got on the gas, drifted wide, and immediately dropped to third, going through the first turn, losing out to Stephen Frossart and Xavier Borg. Number 121. Number 51, Jens Getterman, was a rider that got caught out going through the first turn on the 24 MX Honda. Of course, he would pick himself up but would remount and only finish down in 21st position. But it was frantic action on the opening lap. One or two riders going down in the conditions, as we said earlier, in the MX2 category. The proceedings were delayed due to heavy rain and a waterlogged circuit, but the organisers doing a great job to get things on track. Of course, this MX1 qualifier, immediately after MX2's qualification. Tony Cairoli on the opening lap, though, it was already up to second, and just like Jeffrey Hurlings in MX2, got a good line off the jump, went around the outside and then up the inside as Frossard made a mistake, and Tony Cairoli was the leader halfway around the first lap. Ken Dedeker, his teammate at Red Bull KTM, was there in third position, and it wasn't long before he was thinking about finding a way past the Monster Energy Yamaha. The blue machine just going through, 183 of Stephen Frossard. Down in fourth was Tanel Leok on the Route 77 Energy Honda. Got off to a good start, so too did Evgeny Bobryshev on the Honda World Motocross machine, number 777, ahead of Davide Guarneri. Number 39 on the Marchetti KTM. Jeremy Van Hoorbeek and Jonathan Barragan on the STR, the Steve Turner Racing KTM, very much a privateer unit. But you can see the urgency of Ken Dedeker, number 9 on the Red Bull KTM, trying to slot up the inside of Stephen Frossard, got on the gas but wasn't going to get through there, the final turn. Of course, everybody wanted to do one on Tony Cairoli. Oh, look how close that was. Frossard and Ken Dedeker bar to bar as they came over the step up, but eventually Dedeker going through as he exited the first turn. Then, of course, he had his eyes set on the 222, his teammate, Antonio Cairoli. Pretty one line in places, as you'd expect, because not all of the circuit was able to be cleared after that rain, but the racing was frantic, it was fast. So now Leok there, number 40 on the left of the Monster Energy tabletop, hanging in there for 3 or 4 laps in 5th position on that Route 77 Energy Honda. That's him there in the yellow helmet, trying to find a way past the 121 there in the orange and yellow on the Ice 1 KTM, Xavier Borg. But Tony Cairoli, though, was, as you'd expect, in confident form, certainly after winning the super final in Qatar 1 week prior to here. Sits second place in the championship as the 6-time world champion. But Ken Dedeker, since he's got on that KTM 450 at the start of 2012, he really has gelled with the bike and with the team. And who knows, maybe he could put a result or two his way throughout the course of the season. He did a good job of keeping Tony Cairoli in his sights for much of the race. And it really was a dominant display from the 2 KTMs of Cairoli and Dedeker. Dedeker taking a quick look over his shoulder, but needn't have worried though, because as the race went on, he left Stephen Frossard to the tune of about 12 seconds in his wake. Frossard eventually coming home in third, Tony Cairoli eventually coming home about 10 seconds clear of his teammate. But Evgeny Bobryshev, though, had a good consistent ride, eventually getting up into third place after finding a way past Tanel Leok and Xavier Borg on the Ice 1 KTM. But Stephen Frossard, back from a long injury layoff last year, you kind of got the impression that he was doing just enough to stay there in third, just enough to stay ahead of fourth, and just to get through today with as little amount of fuss as possible. That was Van Hoorbeek. Van Hoorbeek made a good start, but as the race went on, maybe struggling with that hand injury. Remember, he's got a plate and 5 screws in the index finger on the left hand, coming under pressure from fellow Belgian Clement de Salle on the Rockstar Suzuki. The number 25 machine going through just at the start of lap number 9. Tommy Searle, number 100 on the CLS Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki, and also Gauthier Paulin, the KRT, the Kawasaki Racing Team member, both had poor starts as well, down in 12th and 14th respectively on the first lap, but they fought through to get 9th and 10th. Again, knowing that a decent grid position was going to be enough in what were very difficult conditions indeed. See Tommy Searle there just hitting the boggy patch, coming out of turn 2 up onto the plateau alongside pit lane. Tommy Searle, there was a puff of smoke coming out of that number 100 machine right from the very first lap as he was getting on the gas when he was about to land off of the jumps, and there were 1 or 2 nervous faces over in the Kawasaki crew, but he was able to bring it home, so maybe an oil seal or something like that. Nothing too major, looked worse than it actually was, but he was able to put on a good spurt actually, Tommy Searle. 11th to 9th, made a few passes in the final couple of laps and was showing good speed as well, as was Clement de Sal as he battled with number 999 Rui Gonçalves. Gonçalves on the left, on the right now as we look at it, but Gonçalves just bouncing a little bit too short on the Monster Energy tabletop. De Sal was taking no prisoners and he powered his way around the outside, and that was De Sal up into 7th position at that stage of the race with about 4 laps to go. Just saw a brief glimpse of Gauthier Paulin eventually finishing in 10th, but Tony Cairoli, he was the winner by more than 10 seconds from his teammate Ken de Dijker, with Frossard 3rd, Evgeny Bobryshev 4th, Xavier Bourg, Clement de Sal, Tanel Leop, Rui Gonçalves, Tommy Searle and Gauthier Paulin. They were your top 10.
The qualifying win here today. We saw a fair amount of waterfall on the track earlier. How is it out there?
No, really, I like the track for sure. But if you have bad start, it's not so easy to pass. But I had a good start. I was top 2, top 3, so I could make my rhythm, and yeah, I could make a good qualification for tomorrow. The gate peak looks important, so happy for now, and we'll see tomorrow.
Well done.